My name is Arnab, and I want to talk to you about personal branding. And personal branding is a very important subject in today's world, especially for people who are entrepreneurs and who are trying to render some services in the online space. So their personal branding becomes very critical for you to be able to differentiate yourself from competition. But we'll come to that later. So this would be a two-part series. In the first part, I'm going to talk about why should we focus on personal branding, the benefits that personal branding gives us. And in the second part, I'm going to talk about 10 different ways in which you can build your own personal brand. So without further ado, let's just jump in. So the first question is, what is a personal brand? A personal brand essentially is an effort to brand yourself, to create a brand out of yourself, out of your own skill sets, your knowledge, your personality, your own being. How do you create something which is easily identifiable and which basically has an aura around it which attracts people? So that is the basic purpose of a personal brand in plain and simple terms. Now, why do we need a personal brand? It's a great question. And let me try and take you through a few things which I think finally is going to convince you that it's important to have a personal brand. Number one is that a personal brand helps you to create a distinction from your competition. It helps to set you apart from your competition. Now, why that is so is because you as a person has a unique set of experiences, knowledge, skill sets, beliefs, perspectives, and that is because of the life that you've had. And nobody else has exactly the same life as you've had. Therefore, you are unique in what you bring to the table. And competition can never, ever completely and absolutely replicate that. Therefore, when you create a personal brand, you create a collection of this entire set of experiences and perspectives and beliefs that have shaped you. And that creates a distinction from competition. The number two reason why you should create a personal brand is because it helps you to charge a premium. Because when you create a personal brand, then of course people want to follow you. They want your services, in preference to others who do not have a strong brand. And therefore, when more and more people demand your services, you have the ability to charge a premium. The third thing the third reason why a personal brand is important is because a personal brand helps to showcase your capabilities. It helps to highlight your expertise. Now, what happens and in terms of a personal brand is that it involves putting forward or showcasing a lot of your content in the online space. And when you showcase your content in the online space, then effectively you showcase your expertise. You showcase the value of your content actually tells people that you are an opinion leader, that you have authority over a particular subject or in a certain field of work. And therefore, this sharing of content helps build your expertise. And this in turn strengthens your own personal brand. The fourth reason why a personal brand is so important is because a personal brand helps you to gain visibility. Now, when you build your personal brand, then of course you gain a lot of followers on social media. And these followers in turn share the content that you have already put forward to their tribe. And these people in turn start following you on social media. So it's a virtuous cycle. So your brand gets seen and heard by a larger and larger set of people. So your brand starts getting noticed. You start becoming more salient with the right set of people. And that brings me to point number 6. When you have a personal brand, you automatically attract the right kind of audience. Because since you're so visible, since you're known, since people have read about you, or they see your content, or they've heard you speak, then what happens is that automatically they gravitate towards you because they've already started accepting you as the opinion leader in that particular space. So more and more people want to work with you. You also get a lot of referrals from people in the industry and people from outside your industry. And all of that helps you to also charge a premium. Just take the example of, say, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is a personal growth trainer. He is somebody who helps people realize their own potential. And there are plenty of others who are trying to do the same. But nobody can charge as much as Tony can. And the reason is because Tony has a very strong personal brand and people want to work with Tony even if he is more expensive because they trust him, they like him, and they feel that he can deliver. The 7th reason why you should be looking at a personal brand is because it helps to shape the narrative better for you. What I mean by that is when you do not really have a personal brand, then what you do is that you allow the narrative to be shaped on its own. Which means that whenever you post something on social media, or if you are a speaker somewhere, or you have posted a video, or you have done a podcast, or you've written a blog, or you've written a LinkedIn post, anything that you've done actually is shaping the narrative for your brand. And this is happening on its own, organically. And if you don't take control on it, if you don't take control over the narrative, then the narrative gets formed on its own without you having any handle on it. However, when you start making your personal brand, when you start building your personal brand, then you exactly decide the kind of narrative that you want for your brand. Therefore, you will be picky about the kind of content that you will put forward to the world. You will not put out anything and everything. You will be serious about the content that you want the world to see from you. And therefore, you will, erase all kinds of content, or you will try and not associate your brand with any kind of content which does harm to the brand. So in that way, you start strengthening your brand and you start taking control over the narrative. The last thing that I would like to talk about, the 8th thing, is it helps to build more person-to-person connect. And by that what I mean is that if you look at people like, say, Richard Branson, or you look at somebody like, say, Elon Musk, now these people who are founders of companies, if you look at their personal profiles, they've got more people following them than the social profiles of their companies. That's because people in general want to connect with people. And when you have a strong personal brand like, say, Elon Musk has or Richard Branson has, then people automatically gravitate towards you. They want to connect with you because they can feel you. They think you are somebody in flesh that they can associate with, rather than a nameless, or it's not a nameless, but rather than a company which seems more impersonal. And therefore, when you have a strong personal brand, it also reflects very positively on the companies that you run, on the businesses that you run. So therefore, once again, having a strong personal brand actually is helpful for your business. It helps your business to prosper. It helps your business to be more resilient when things are not looking too good in the general industry. So hopefully these 8 points would have been sufficient to convince you of the need to have a personal brand and why a personal brand is so important in today's world. So in the next episode, I'm going to talk about the how, which means how can you build a personal brand. So there are about 9 or 10 different things that I jotted down, which I think would be useful for you in terms of understanding how you can build your own personal brand. And in the meantime, what I would like to request you is put down your thoughts in the comments, and I'd like to read them very honestly in terms of what you feel are your strengths and where you think you should focus on building your personal brand. What should your personal brand be all about? So put your thoughts down in the comments, and I'd love to read all of them. And before we start the video tomorrow, which is the one that would talk about how to build your personal brand, I would like to read through some of your comments so that I know what you're thinking and how I can help you better. So till then, thank you so much.